Hello and welcome to Three Questions With. Got my buddy Colby Doody with us from Landmark Financial. Hey Colby, welcome to the show.
Hey Kevin, thanks for having me.
So Colby, I asked you to come on today because as you obviously we're at the end of 2020. Want to talk about some things that people should be considering for their taxes that they may not know they should be considering. What advice do you have?
Yeah, so with this past year, a lot has happened as far as tax laws and stimulus and things like that. The first thing I recommend is get all your documents in order because that's going to be crucial when it comes to tax time. So if you received the stimulus or even if you didn't, it's going to be important to watch out for what we request. So if you receive the stimulus, you should get a notice 1444 from the IRS. We will need that to file your tax return. It's not going to be included on your tax return, but we need the numbers from that letter basically. And what that's going to report to us is the amount of stimulus you received in 2020, which will be crucial. And we need those figures for your 2020 tax return. Tip number two, if you do not itemize and you normally contribute to charity, make sure to get your charity by the end of the year, because earlier this year, Congress passed a $300 deduction regardless whether you itemize. And that's very crucial for a lot of taxpayers to be able to take this benefit. So make sure you get it in before the end of the year. And just recently, Congress and the president just signed the CARES Act 2.0. And basically what they allowed you to do is if you're married filing jointly, it's actually a $600 deduction. So it's a $300 increase from the previous bill they passed earlier this year. And then last but not least, as regards to, a lot of people have been asking as far as what is the Biden administration proposed changes and how it's going to affect them as far as tax law. Basically, there's three segments that you should know about. I'm not going to go in depth today because it's a lot to discuss. But if you make less than $400,000, you're in segment one. If you make between $400,000 and $1 million, you're in segment two. And then if you make $1 million or more, there could be some potential, unfortunately, negative drawbacks to the Biden tax administration proposals. But again, those are just proposals and are not in effect at this time. But it's something to keep a watch on for the next 4 years.
So Colby, if people have questions, how do they reach out to you to learn more, my friend?
Yeah, so they can contact my office. I am still coming in a couple of days a week, 978-984-5425. They can also email me. I'm sure that you will send out my email address so that way, in case they can't understand the letters, it's CDOODY and then LMFSG.com is in landmarkfinancialservicesgroup.com.
And you're located in Andover, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So we're located in Andover, right off the 93. If you ever been to Andover, we're across the bridge from the Chateau Hotel.
Awesome. Colby, really appreciate you taking a few minutes to jump on the show. And as always, thanks for being my friend.
Perfect. Thank you for having me.